to the world. For help and rebuild our country. Jiggy jiggy and march, march. But make we dance with it now. Come make we march, all Jamaicans. We are one big family. Time come for deliverance. So make we march in unity. Whether PNP or Liberal. Well, on behalf of all Jamaicans, I just want to say thank you to the world for helping us to rebuild our country. Jiggy jiggy and march, march. But make we dance with it now. Come make we march, all Jamaicans. We are one big family. Time come for deliverance. So make we march in unity. Whether PNP or Liberal, our God loves all of we. We are marching on to progress. Jam down and feel all of we. Everything Melissa broke down, we are gonna build back. We are gonna build back better than before. Every house we broke down, we are gonna build back. 'Cause our God have blessings in store. Time come to rebuild together. 'Cause Jamaica is our home. We are stepping out the darkness into the light. We're gonna build stronger roof and doors.
Good evening, Liberites, and good evening to all other comebacks watching this channel. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, none other than the greatest Laborite alive. Good evening, my people. Good evening. No, good evening, Wellers. No, it is typical of the PNP to behave in a manner, that is unbecoming. The government has taken a position where, it has been found out that persons are being abused, and the government has taken a position, and the opposition is firmly against the position that their government has taken. And I hope the Americans are watching and listening to how, these opposition people are behaving. Now we have a few clips that we're going to play this evening, and we're going to do the breakdown, pretty much like usual. So listen, let's roll out the evening shoutouts and then let's get into it. I believe I might have a statement from the Prime Minister, but I can't remember if I sent it to the phone. Yes, I sent it to the phone. So I will read that out before we get to the clip. So let's roll out the evening shoutouts, my people. Jacqueline, big up yourself. Beverly, big up. Rowan, big up yourself. Sylvan, 876JK, big up. Ryan, big up yourself. Arlene, big up yourself. PB, June, big up. Janet, big up yourself. Donna, big up. Winford, Annette, MDL, big up yourself. Pardon, Cindy Lynch, big up yourself. Joanne, big up. Anthony Semester, big up yourself. Good evening. There's 33 of us. Melody, me just see a pop in. Good evening. There's 39 of us now, guys. I want to see if you can get me to at least 30 thumbs up. Double tap the phone screen or hit the 3 dots in the right hand corner of the screen. Hit the thumbs up button. Do subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Kingsley, big up yourself as well. Now, I have a statement from the Prime Minister that I'm going to read out on the live. So, I want to listen up. Bernard, big up yourself. When it comes to physical discipline over the last 15 years, they, as in the PNP, cannot claim credit. If we are going to discuss Jamaica economic history, we must do so honestly, my people. Under my administration, Jamaica has experienced the lowest average inflation since 1972. See? Our style, big up yourself, good evening. Averaging about 5.5%. Even navigating global shocks such as COVID-19 pandemic, hurricanes, and international conflicts. When we took office in 2016, unemployment stood at 13.7%. Today, it has fallen to 3.5%, one of the lowest levels in our history. Since then, we have created more than 250,000 new jobs, nearly twice the rate of job creation under the previous administration. See, we have also maintained greater stability in the Jamaican dollar, with an average depreciation of about 2.9% per year, significantly lower than under previous administration. Jamaica today has a stronger and more stable economy, and we must continue to be responsible. And we must continue the responsible policies that have brought us this progress, my people. That is a statement that the Prime Minister posted earlier, about half an hour ago. Now, let's move to nationwide now, and we're going to listen to this brother on screen, Fitz Jackson, and we're going to break it down, my people.
Now Maitland, yeah, and our ace court reporter Ruben Williams is keeping us up to date. And at 10:56 a.m., the latest update says convicted murderer Noel Maitland arrives in courtroom 2 of the Supreme Court, where he's expected to learn how long prison will be his home for the killing of his girlfriend, social media influencer Donnelly Donaldson. Maitland is dressed in a black jacket suit and is wearing his hair in plaits. His attorney, Christopher Townsend, previously informed the court that there would be no witnesses called at this stage. Relatives of Donnelly are also present in the court. Our court reporter is advising us, of course, by way of remainder, Maitland was found guilty by a 7-member jury of murder and preventing the lawful burial of Donaldson's body following a months-long trial that gripped the nation. Donaldson was last seen in July 2022 after being picked up from her mother's St. Andrew home by Maitland, and her body has never been found. Sentencing is being handed down by Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey. All right, so
before we move to the Fitz Jackson thing, let me just say that, you know, today justice have prevailed, you know, again in Jamaica. You know, usually when we find high-profile cases like this where police officers, begging to pardon me, people, where you find police officers and politicians in trouble in Jamaica, they are usually exonerated at the end of it. And for PNP persons who are here, exonerated mean they are found not guilty and then get away with the crime. See, Meltina, big up yourself. Monica, good evening. See, so our justice system is appearing to work, my people. It is working somewhat. Now, I stop here to contrast the Jail and Silvera to this murder, where they had a lot more evidence on Jail and Silvera, and he got away with manslaughter, and this guy here got life in prison. You know, so. And this was by jury. I believe that the same thing could have happened with Jail and Silvera. I believe, again, before we move on, that the DPP have dropped the ball. See? Carolyn, big up yourself. So let's go to Fitz Jackson, my people.
On trial that gripped the nation. Donaldson was last seen in July 2022 after being picked up from her mother's St. Andrew home by Maitland, and her body has never been found. Sentencing is being handed down by Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey. All right, so before we return to the phone lines, let's listen to this clip. Fitz Jackson, longtime MP, commenting on the Cuban medical program. Let's have a listen.
When you are in need and they come to your assistance, Cuba has been that to us. The argument advanced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs as a basis of termination, unilateral termination, as the Cubans have said. And if you ask me, I believe the Cubans in this more than I believe my government. Frivolous argument that the Minister of Finance advanced at the Standing Finance Committee and in subsequent news releases is again disgraceful. Payments are being made to the Cuban government for the workers, on behalf of the workers who come to the front. What is unique about that? None of these workers.
Hey, wait, man, say. Money is being paid to the Cuban government on behalf of these workers. And nothing is wrong with that. I don't believe that Fitz Jackson have gotten the point of what we are saying. Or maybe it's just the comrade in him. He can't let go off of the Cuban regime. But Fitz Jackson is basically saying that it is okay for these persons to come to Jamaica, slave, and then the Cuban government get the money instead of the persons who do the work. I believe that is what Fitz Jackson is saying. If you don't believe, say me I tell lie on Fitz Jackson, you can't tell me otherwise. But I believe that is what Fitz Jackson is saying. Tired, my people. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm tired.
From China or elsewhere, where it's paid by the government of Jamaica. They are paid by a private company on behalf of the workers. And there are a number of companies in Jamaica who do not pay their workers directly. They pay to the contracting party. In the case of the Cuban health service workers, the contractual arrangement is between the government of Jamaica and the government of Cuba.
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State for the U.S., he came last year on a visit and he described this agreement as forced labor.
I have had the opportunity to interact with a number of Cuban health care workers. None of them are forced work.
Big up in a talk straight. Christopher, big up yourself. Good evening to my beautiful wife. Good evening, baby. Harvard, big up yourself. See?
It's forced labor. You know, if that argument is to have any credibility, why aren't they asking the Chinese workers to leave? On the basis of their own argument, it's frivolous and it's honest. It's dishonest.
Big up, Dennis.
All I can say, better days will come. We are not losing hope in our country. And what we need to do, the opposition is steadfast. We will stand with the Cuban government on this matter. It's clear. It is responding to other demands, other instructions, rather than giving priority to the demands of our people.
So, this is an elected official, you know, saying that they stand with a dictatorship government. See? So, you know, if Donald Trump should by chance be rolling through the media now and saw Fitz Jackson saying that he, a Jamaican politician, stand with the dictatorship in Cuba, see, that can potentially mean consequences for Jamaica. However, you know, Andrew Holness is at the helm and he's respected, so I doubt that will happen. But, you know, when the PNP come back to government, they must remember these things, and the Americans, they don't forget nothing ever. See? So Jamaica can brace for when the PNP come back, the United States start to sabotage you again. No brace feet. See?
The instruction and other demands you mean from the U.S.?
All the entities and governments have instructed them. I know that the U.S. government is not them.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Did you hear that? From the member of parliament that represents St. Catherine Southern in the Honorable House of Parliament. Did you hear that? He says he stands with the government of Cuba. You know? I wonder if Fitz Jackson knows that there's a difference between the government of Cuba and the people of Cuba.
I don't think so.
Please play that again for me, because I can't believe what I'm hearing. Please play the clip again for me one more time.
When you are in need and they come to your assistance, Cuba has been that to us. The argument advanced by the Minister of Foreign Affairs as a basis of termination, unilateral termination, as the Cubans have said. And if you ask me, I believe the Cubans in this more than I believe my government. Regrettable, frivolous argument. that the Minister of Finance advanced at the Standing Finance Committee and in subsequent news releases is again disgraceful. Payments are being made to the Cuban government for the workers, on behalf of the workers who come here. To be frank, what is unique about that? None of these workers from China or elsewhere is paid by the government of Jamaica. They are paid by a private company on behalf of the workers. And there are a number of companies in Jamaica who do not pay their workers directly. They pay to the contracting party. In the case of the Cuban health service workers, the contract and arrangement is between the government of Jamaica and the government of Cuba.
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State for the U.S., he came last year on a visit and he described this agreement as forced labor.
I have had the opportunity to interact with a number of Cuban health care workers. None of them are forced workers, forced labor. You know, if that argument is to have any credibility, why aren't they asking the Chinese workers to leave? On the basis of their own argument, it's frivolous and it's dishonest. It's dishonest. All I can say, better days will come. We are not losing hope in our country. And what we need to do, the opposition is steadfast. We will stand with the Cuban government on this matter. It's clear. It is responding to other demands, other instructions, rather.
These people are so blinded by blinded by politics. You know, not in the effort to not stand with the Jamaican government because it is led by the JLP. He's willing to not stand with the people of Cuba, but the dictatorship government of Cuba, which we know say are their best friend already. But you know, I hope tomorrow morning we hear say PNP MP start lose their right and center. And that we are here. Tomorrow the United States supposed to do a press conference and say nobody from the opposition party in Jamaica should travel back to the United States and start pressure like other country them for cast them for not travel to.
Then giving priority to the demands of our people.
When you say other instruction and other demands, you mean from the U.S.?
All the entities and governments have instructed them. I know that the US government is one of them.
Look, you can't make these things up, you know. The MP for South St. Catherine, Fitz Jackson, says the opposition, and let me read it for you. Yes, the opposition is steadfast. We stand with the Cuban government on this matter. So apparently the People's National Party has no issue with the Cuban workers not being able to be in possession of their own passports, you know. And certainly he has no issues with the Cubans working and the money being sent to a despotic regime in Cuba.
Big up Mary Daly.
In US currency. Fitz Jackson, have you lost your mind?
I think so.
Clearly, quite a spirited defense there from Fitz Jackson. But I mean no disrespect by this. I must has
he lost his mind. I'm gonna tell you. If Fitz Jackson had stand up in Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, I don't know about America right now, but any one of them country there, Fitz Jackson had stand up and say something like this, he would have to resign tonight. No if, no but, no maybe, he'd have to resign. After him saying stand with a dictatorship government against the people that are being oppressed, he would have to resign. See?
Fitz Jackson lost his marbles. How can you not have a problem with the state of affairs given what the recent checks have yielded concerning this program? How can a democratically elected representative say he's standing on the side of a despotic regime and he doesn't believe, he says, his own government on it? And of course, you should question your government. I support that 1,000%. But they've put forward here what their checks have revealed. And Fitz Jackson is saying the opposition stands with the... Look, Mark Golding, the General Secretary, the President of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, and the General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell, they need to respond. Is Fitz Jackson accurate to say that the opposition, People's National Party, that they stand with the Cuban government? That means they're lending their support to state-sponsored servitude?
That is the PNP.
Has Fitz Jackson lost all of his marbles?
This is just like the argument, you know. This is just like the argument when people say, Michael Manley don't do nothing. Siaga and CIA sabotage Jamaica. Okay, so Michael Manley did there, Michael Manley and Prime Minister of America just look upon him and say, you know, so we don't like you, we're going to sabotage you. What about Michael Manley's action? We elect Michael Manley to look after Jamaica and to deal with Jamaica problem them. What Michael Manley had over Cuba in a Cuba business. What Michael Manley had do down a Venezuela, what do a Russia. See? What do all like other place them when gone. What about Jamaica business when supposed to mind? If Michael Manley didn't mind Jamaica business, what we pay him for, you know? Jamaica, America would do sabotage we and try to destroy our economy. So, if Michael Manley is the leader, the buck stop with the leader. He was the leader at the time and he put his nose where he's not supposed to go. And at that cause what happened. So why we not blame Michael Manley? Him forget to blame. Today Andrew Holness is in government and if America sabotage we. Who no think them gonna blame? Who no think them gonna blame? You think them gonna say America? Them gonna say Andrew Holness. See? So us saying it is Michael Manley. He was the Prime Minister. Edward Seaga had no power. Same like how Mark Golding had no power now because they have this narrative of spewed say Edward Seaga stopped grocery from coming in the country. No grocery never come in the country because the country run out of reserve money. You see the NIR, no money never left in there to look after a country. See, PNP spend out it on social program and give free health care, free this, free that. See, if you have a shop and you trust out the whole of shop, how you go buy back stock put in there? The shop go lock down and then your family go get poor and destitute because the shop was supposed to be holding up. I same thing with the country. If you give everything free, it go tear down. You can't give everything free. What Michael Manley needed to do and what he should have done was continue with the economic policies from the previous government. And then over time, him enact in social policy them. He never have to do all of them one time. Free education. 1 year, this is how we go funny. This is where money come from. And 2 years from the line, we're going to give free house or whatever, or we're going to start NHT or whatever. But you know, just try to implement everything across the board and you're not having money to do it and the country not rich. You can't do that. That's going to crash the country. See? So, why we not blame Michael Manley? I don't know. This policy leads right back to Michael Manley. This same Cuban policy now leads right back to Michael Manley. He's the one who signed this deal with the Cuban government to slave out the Cuban people them. See? And there's an issue with it. You know, we are living in a different time. Maybe not at the time that they never seen no problem with it that time. But we are living in a different time now. We cannot continue to deal with people along this line. See? So me can't believe say the PNP is taken. I believe Fitz Jackson is talking for the PNP. I believe he's speaking for the PNP. See? Guys, there's 218 of us. And see if we can get me to 100 thumbs up. At least. Double tap the phone screen, hit the 3 dots in the right hand corner of the screen, hit the thumbs up button. Do subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Lindell, big up yourself as well.
All right. Cliff Hughes, and you know, sometimes you wonder who's writing these scripts here.
Graham, big up.
A sitting elected official, democratically elected official, says he's standing with the Cuban government. The opposition is standing with the Cuban government. Yeah? That's what we're getting from a sitting member of parliament, democratically elected member of parliament. And I want to ensure that I read the
Big up, Siri.
quote correctly. The opposition is steadfast, says MP for Southern St. Catherine, Fitz Jackson. The opposition is steadfast. We stand with the Cuban government on this matter. Someone listening to the program messaged me to say, did Fitz Jackson mean to say they stand with the people of Cuba? Well, if that's what he means to say, he needs to come out and clarify and withdraw what he said and then restate the right thing.
No.
He stands with the people of Cuba.
He say government.
The government of Cuba, pardon me?
He say not believe few government. And then he go on to say that he stand with the government of Cuba. And I believe consequences should be felt through the PNP. Tomorrow morning, the Americans supposed to start drop some bomb on them tomorrow. The PNP supposed to start lose visa, lose all kind of something tomorrow. That will happen. See? Because they are backing a criminal dictatorship government who are slave out the people. People over Cuba are dead, you know. I true now watch a documentary them. When you go up on YouTube, go look on them. People over there can't do basic surgery. Things like hernia, and then something they kill people because then something they are minor surgery. See? And not even that then can't do over Cuba. See? So when time people are talking about self-reliance and eat what you grow and grow what you eat. Cuba have been eating what they grow and growing what they eat for the last 50, 60 years. Look at them today. This is what Michael Manley wanted to happen to Jamaica. See? And when people talk about democratic socialism, Michael Manley was a communist. He was disguising communism under the guise of democratic socialism. See? And it would have caused Jamaica great problems. See? It would have caused Jamaica great problems to switch from democratic socialism to capitalism, democratic socialism to capitalism, because of two complete different systems. So and when Labour right win, Labour right now go change back the system and them will continue to go, because that would have caused great disaster. Remember, I tell you, and it did. See? So Cuban people, they must suffer my people, and it is time something is done. You know, I don't believe that America should go in there and interfere with anything there. I don't believe that. I believe that the Cuban people should rise up and take over a government and try to make better for themselves. I don't believe that America should go in there. Just like my name believes that they need to go in Iran either. I never believe that they need to go in Iraq or Afghanistan. Right? I believe that if you left the people them and rise up and take over their country themselves and deal with them and do. But you know, it is what it is, my people. Now people are going to talk about Andrew Holness as suck chump big toe and all of these things. Andrew Holness does not deal with Trump directly. You know, Andrew Holness' foreign policy is aligned with the United States foreign policy. It's plain and simple as that. See, we are trying to use diplomacy to deal with what we need to deal with. It's plain and simple as that. Right? Marco Rubio and Andrew Holness are good friends, right? So that is where we deal. That is how we deal, through those two mediums, right? The PNP have made their position felt this evening by saying that they stand with the Cuban government on this issue. That is going to cause problem with the United States. All right, you can't say me tell you.
This listener is right to ask, did he mean?
Selvin, big up yourself. Mama Winsome, good evening. Tom, big up yourself. Lady J, big up yourself. Larry, big up yourself. Sarika, big up. See? Lynch.
The people of Cuba, not the government of Cuba. Because if he means the government of Cuba, Fitz Jackson has several questions to answer. Fox, good morning to you.
Morning, brother Tyrone. How you do?
I give thanks. You know, how things with you?
Yeah, man. Just drink some water, meanwhile you're on the mic, man. but listen to me now. I don't know why you're surprised that Fitz Jackson says in proper believe the Cuban money and the Jamaica government, you know. I don't know why you're surprised. Because we all long know that they you know, they rap and tile with the Cuba so much that they can't see nothing wrong with what is going on. But let me tell you something, my brother. I hear you're pressing the Minister of Health, asking him about when did he know that certain action that is going on with the Cubans. And he, you know, I think he's directly trying to avoid the Tyrone the minister says that is, because we've gone past that. The contract is going to hop. And I wanted to listen to me a few. The contract is going to hop, and what the minister have to deal with now, Brother Tyrone. We still have people who have to go to see the doctor. We have people who have to go get a certain injection, certain medication, and they normally go to the Cuban doctor. Correct? You hearing me?
You asked me to listen, and I'm listening.
Yes. So my brother, so the minister is trying to set you, and I hear you asked him on Monday, and I hear Trevor asked him again, and he's still trying to grow, and I think he deliberately trying to avoid that because that is of no moment now, in my view. Because you see, my brother, the minister has to go find doctors, pull doctors from different various hospitals to come fill the gaps, and I just said this morning, we have to just prepare to feel the pinch.
They'll right, big up.
You understand? Where the whole thing of this contract is concerned, Brother Tyrone, the Cuban fully responds to them people. You understand? I do some checks and I said, they school them, them pay them tuition, and them pay for them accommodation to wherever they are staying and working. So, it's a contract, my brother, that has been going on since 50 years, you know, said, right? So, I don't know what much they can take away from this. You understand? And as the minister said...
So, can I speak now?
Yes, sir.
First of all, I do not agree with your assessment about the minister trying to dodge and evade the questions that we're asking him about what the government knew and when they found it out. Not acceptable. Hindsight is 2020. There's lots to learn from looking back over our actions of the past.
That is true.
That if we don't look at our actions and assess them, we're going to repeat the mistakes of the past. And that is, you can't agree with me and hold that position. That it is of no moment. It is absolutely of moment. We're in the throes of this thing, finding out that we were party to state-sponsored servitude. And you are saying it is of no moment to explain.
Big up Mama Marcia. Good evening. Ella, big up yourself, Ella. And Ella say, I hope you're not adapting golden style before your audience. No, water me a drink, so that no count. You know, Mark, I love to drink water in a parliament. You know, I love to dig out in teeth and catch pa one batty jar and a poop. You see me, I say, Miss Steve, big up yourself. Good evening.
How we ended up there?
Then my brother.
Fox, I'm going to have to ask you if you've lost your marbles too.
No, they still have to me. But my brother, all I'm trying to say to you, the minister have a lot to do. The time when he got sent to explain to you.
He asked for the work, you know. Nobody forced any minister of government.
No, they
asked for the work. So now that it comes time for them to multitask and do multiple critical things at the same time, don't try to make excuses for them. That's why they're there. They have to learn to multitask. Don't lower the bar so much, man. Take the bar out the mud.
I agree with you, my brother. But
no, you're not agreeing with me. We are fundamentally disagreed. No, but it's true. We are fundamentally disagreed. You think the minister was right to make that approach of trying not to respond to the questions. And that can't be.
I believe the minister should answer the questions. You know, there are questions to be answered. You know, and we just need to move to one position now where if we did know and never do nothing about it, we have to do something about it now. We are not the original signer of these agreements. It is the PNP that done it. Right? And, you know, if the minister need to gather information and he don't know yet, I believe we should leave him with little room to go and find information and come back. You know, but whenever time he find out, right, whoever tell him about it, he need to come and tell with the people. When he find out what is going on and all of these, I believe that, you know.
And because he was trying to sell us that line too, that he doesn't really want to go there. No, you can't come to the people of Jamaica and tell us that now that you've revealed all of these things to us. that the Cubans weren't in possession of their passports. And he named the Ministry of Foreign Affairs name dropped speaker, and now the speaker head doesn't want to touch it with a long stick. Something is happening here, and we need to get all the facts. Governments must err on the side of transparency every single time.
Tyrone, I don't know how much you know about contracts, you know, my brother. I don't know much. You know much
I'm a little youth
about
from Marvel. I don't know much about much, man.
Eh?
I'm just a little youth from Marvel. I don't know much about much.
No, man, but look here. We have to think, you know, outside. There are more to this than we think, you know.
That is why they need to answer the questions, my brother.
And the country is separated now because the PNP is saying one thing, the government is wicked, and the government is trying to sell us.
But you're making my point for me. The fact that there are so many questions swirling around, that's the reason they need to respond to the questions.
Give on, big up, Millicent, big up.
Well,
And don't tell us that, you know, let's
Move on.
no.
Big up to all 108 person that gave me a thumbs up. Big up to all 239 person that is here. Please subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. You know, I believe my government have some questions to answer. You know, this is a big thing. I would say that before Marco Rubio came and said, you know, they probably did not know the whole lot of it. You know, they did not know the extent of it until they go and do the research. You know, it is coming out now, and my government should just put it out there in the air. This is not nothing that should affect us in the slightest, because, you know, this is not our doing. We know that Edward Seaga expelled the Cubans from Jamaica in the 80s, and soon as PNP came back 89, you know, they went and negotiated and brought them back to Jamaica. So this is the PNP is doing, you know, and this is kind of why you see Fitz Jackson is so annoyed, you know, that, you know, their PNP, I mean, their Cuban slaves that they got from Cuba, you know, is going to be taken away, you know. But we must not treat people in that manner. We must not treat people like that. And Fitz Jackson should be ashamed of himself. You know, you see, if you want Ribena seed, if you do Ribena and no seed, you want the man slap him with something. Anyway, continue. If you listen.
No, we can't. We don't just sweep things under the rug. We need to get the understanding of the facts, get an understanding of the facts, so that we can move forward. That's how we do things, not the other way around, Fox. I have to take another call, though, Fox. We've been at it for a little while. But thank you so much for the call, and do enjoy the weekend. All right. Look, there's no way anyone who believes in transparency and believes in holding the government accountable should be saying an attempt by Dr. Christopherson, to say, let's move on, is acceptable. It's not acceptable. And I challenged the minister on it. And if he came back on the program and took a similar position, I'd challenge him again. Yeah, I know many of you might not like that, you know, but that's the way it ought to be done. Anthony, top of the morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
How are things?
Clifton, big up yourself. Nicola, big up yourself. Kenton, big up. Dennis, big up yourself as well.
My nephew, at least. My nephew.
How are you, sir?
Yes, brother Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
With Mr. Fitz Jackson. From I hear him about 2 nights ago on the TV, I was so upset when I hear that man talking about the Cuban.
And rightly so.
Because what I'm saying, I am wondering how old is Fitz Jackson that he don't know that is the people's national bringing in the Cuban, and which we feel good about that, because the Cubans, many of them belong to Jamaicans before they capture over to the communist system. Cubans were there, they have family out here, many of them. No, they make that They make that contract, sign that contract with the Cuba. They are the one who signed those contracts with the Cuban government from first, for the government.
1976, I think the program started. And based on reportage I've heard, Edward Seaga put a pause to the program in the 80s.
Yes.
And I gather it was resumed sometime thereafter. And it has continued ever since. And the government is now discovering what the government has been doing. And that is what I'm saying is problematic.
It is problematic, but it is not far-fetched, Tyrone. So, Tyrone, if you listen to me, it is not far-fetched that the government did not know what is actually happening, because we see the whole thing with Dodos, where Peter Phillips went to the United States and signed a MOU and hid it from even the Prime Minister of Jamaica at the time. He hid it at Upper Camp. It was when Rocky Mead, then Chief of Staff, was doing a cleanup and he stumbled across the document. And that is how it was brought to the attention of the then Labour government at the time under Bruce Golding. Right? So it is not far-fetched to think that these things can happen and things are hidden. It can be hidden from the government of Jamaica and they don't know about it. See? But they got the intelligence from the US and they are doing something about it now. But my government doesn't need to come and talk what is what. That's it. We're not vex with them. Because we know a PNP thing. You see me?
Thing is problematic, I don't understand that, how can the government just now be discovering what the government has been doing for about 50 years?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I just know that those contracts type of, I don't know what to call it, this contract was signed by his government. And it's maintained until now, which I said when it's really long, it should end. When the farm worker go in America or Canada to work, when they go home, they get a part of their money up there, and the rest come to the Jamaican, send to the Jamaica government. When you come home, you get your money. How can people working and don't get the money at all? You send the people money, go to Cuba, go give it to the government. Eh?
I want to read for you, Anthony, something that a listener sent in, and for the listeners and viewers to me. And this listener says, our farm work program almost got shut down because our government took 20% of their salaries as savings for them, So when they come back, they had some money put away and didn't spend it off. The main issue was that the money was going to a government account. They fixed it by asking the farm work employers to remit the 20%, but to accounts held locally by each farm worker locally. And to note, the farm workers had no issue with the former arrangement. Absolutely, people working, they should be the ones collecting their pay. That's what should happen in a liberal democracy. We can't be party to state-sponsored servitude.
Exactly.
The part that gets me so upset again, he is talking about the Chinese. Oh, we running the Cuban and we're not running the Chinese. We cannot.
Is that what is happening with the Chinese too? I'm happy you raised that with me, Anthony. Is that really what is happening with the Chinese? Are we not paying the workers? Are the workers not being paid directly? He has raised that the specter of that being the case, and that's something that we need to look into. Perhaps the newsroom can look into that as well. What was the arrangement with the Chinese workers? Are we also not paying those workers who are here laboring? Or is it that China Harbor, well, because we have a contract with China Harbor, and then China Harbor would pay their workers, I would suppose. But it's perhaps worth looking into to see. No stone unturned, because we can't repeat this. And
there's no doubt that these things are happening, my people. I am not going to shy away from saying that these things are happening, and we must once and for all put a stop to it, my people. We must once and for all. Working in itself for an employer, it is bad enough. It is tantamount to slavery anyway. So the best thing we can do is to pay people what they're worth, and pay them properly and give them their money so they can do what they want to do with it. It's plain and simple as that. You know?
All of these people, including the Pika folks, are the boss of Pika, who is saying he doesn't want to respond to questions that we're asking. That is not acceptable. It is entirely acceptable, and all of them need to come out and tell us what they know, when they knew it, and what part they played in facilitating this. Yes, and what part they played in resolving it. And ending this program is the right thing to do if the Cuban government does not want to amend the details of the arrangement.
The Cubans are very nice people. Those doctors and nurses, I can tell you that they are very, very nice people, because I have flew with them for several times.
Yes.
Up to yesterday. Yeah. So when he passed out the assertion, it look away. The Cubans are our brothers and sisters and our closest neighbors. We're not going to talk about President Trump and President Trump to him we send home the people. And Trump cannot let we send home the people who are working here. We can't tell Trump who to work with, who we must employ and those things. So how Trump could ever tell me that our government
look, the pressure being brought to bear by the Trump administration, we're not foolhardy. Clearly, that is what forced us to try to renegotiate the terms. And then when the Cuban government wasn't really cooperating with us, then we started to lift up the sheets to see what is under the sheets, because we've been in bed with them so long. So now we're looking under the sheet to see what is really there. And then we found out that these are some of the problems. Some of the claims that are being made are actually true. The appropriate response is to end the program if they do not wish to amend the terms of the agreement. Absolutely no two ways about that. We have to leave it there, though, Anthony. We've gone over time. I have to leave it there. But thanks for the call, and do enjoy the weekend. All right. This is Cliff Hughes Online. It's the TJ
Cuban government and the nurses. Jamaica was not able to pulling healthcare to people here. Generally, at that time, we had a prime minister that said he would go to the mountaintop with cancer. Getting help is a plus side. So, suppose the grass part is not looking at the depth of it. Now that is beginning to come more in light that is holding on to them passports and those things. We begin to get aggressive. Now, if Caster's going to send the people to you, he pays for their education. He wants back his pay back. Like, we are training nurses and teachers here to with them garlic with. Because suppose in an attempt to keep or get back his money, he would sign such a contract.
What do you mean, get back his money?
Well,
the money belongs to Castro, it belongs to the people of Cuba.
It's taxpayers' money with people.
Yes, so, but quite frankly, the way you're saying it now is how the Cuban regime would see it. But that's not the case. The money doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the people of Cuba. And you invest in your people, and the way to get it back is to collect their money and then only send them a portion of it, and to keep their passports away from them. That's the way to get back your investment. We invest in people in this country, and what we do in a democratic society, yes, is that we bond you. You sign a contract, and you say you come back and work for X amount of years, or for the government or in the country, or you say if you have to leave, this is the payout clause. Absolutely, that is how a democratic society works. This that we're looking at, as it is anti-democracy, and it is state-sponsored servitude. It should not be defended. And I hope that's not what you're doing.
No, Tyrant was always anti-democracy. It's communism helping us. And that's how they figure it's the best way to do. No.
Whoa. Communism helping us, and so we must be party to it by paying them in US dollars?
Oh, you're going to get the nurses to help you play
all right. Did you hear?
This is why we are trained. We want to people them, so we can plug with gap, and we don't have to rely too much. In a healthcare, you always got to rely upon outside staff, but if we have enough of few people them, we don't have to rely too much And by the way, there's only 250 to 300 Cuban workers out of 3,000. So there are not that many anyway. See? And naturally, people are going to come through health school and plus the hundreds that the government is sending through scholarship. See? So, we'll be able to plug the gap in another 2 years or so. Now, I see the PNP them on Facebook, I say, oh my God, where the Cuban then gone? People are going dead. I want to tell me which nurse and doctor can stop you from dead if you go dead. I want to tell me. May I wait for somebody to tell me tonight. Which doctor or which nurse are going to stop you from dead when you go dead? And I want to hear that from somebody tonight. Want to tell me.
All right. Did you hear the argument from our own government that the Cuban government has amended the arrangement with a number of other countries?
Because as time goes by, more people will.
So why are they refusing to amend it with Jamaica?
Yeah, no, able to train our people properly.
Why are they refusing to amend it with Jamaica? They've amended the terms with other countries so that the program can continue. Why are they, if they're really...
Because the PNP is instructing them to push back on this government here. That is what is happening, my people.
Really about helping people, they should not have a problem with the government of Jamaica paying the doctors and the nurses directly. If the Cuban government is about helping its brothers and sisters in the region, it should not have any difficulty with its people being paid directly.
Government want to get back their compensation.
Well, you can look at it like that, and I'll see it for what it is.
Remember, it didn't just happen, remember it's 2023,
No, 2023 is when it expired. The last contract expired.
I have not renewed it because I think it was the wrong step forward in the years gone by. Now that we can get some Ghana and other African countries, it's a more open situation.
That is what happened.
And the reason the minister don't want to come here and defend it, because it's going to look to the former prime minister who to make a seem to fall is going wrong. Put him in a bad light, that was an arrangement by his government. And I must be honest with you, I don't agree with what's happening now.
So let me tell you something, and this is what is happening. The PNP and their supporters, they are so hooked up and cooked up in any form of bullshit that is negative. The PNP and their surrogates, anything that is good for the country of Jamaica, they are against it. It beggars belief how people can defend the PNP. You know, show me one time. I want to show me one time in a history where the PNP have built out the health. Because a man attacked me since night. I tell me, say, people are asleep on hospital floor. PNP did 19 years in government. Did they build a hospital? 19 years, 5 hospitals could have built. Did they build one? Can anybody point me to a hospital that the PNP built in 19 years of government? To ease up look right pressure off I want them did it because people are asleep on hospital floor from in the 1970s. Believe it or not. People are asleep on hospital bench from the 1970s. And if you don't believe me, Google it. Or if you have ChatGPT, put in a ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT. Jamaica have hospital problem from in the 1970s. Michael Manley wreck the economy, so Edward Sierra could barely. See? But run the economy. He managed to stabilize it. I managed 3 years out of growth out of 9 years. That's all he could have managed. Because it was so destroyed by Michael Manley. All I NIR spend off of the bullshit. See? The PNP no build one hospital. You don't need it for black him yet. Because I go ask him to name a hospital with PNP bill. They no build none to ease up the pressure after I want them to do that. See? You don't tell me when under this government has the PNP reduced crime. You don't tell me. Under the PNP government, sorry, when have they reduced crime? You know, show me one point in our history where the PNP reduced crime in Jamaica. Show me. After show me that, show me one time when Jamaica had sustained economic growth, meaning quarter after quarter, year on year growth, that the PNP caused in our country. You know, show me a sustained time frame where the PNP caused Jamaica to grow, the economy of Jamaica grow over time. You know, show me. And you're going to find that they have never grown the economy. They have never built a hospital, not even one in a Jamaica. And they have never, ever managed to get crime under control. See? Now, we deal with the error of Michael Manley when time they say Michael Manley give a free education. No for no elder. Who much you have a degree? Michael Manley give a free education from primary to college, to university. Which one don't have a degree? Which one don't get a degree? Because people still could go to school. Eh? Couldn't go to school, see me. And what you find is enough of PNP them where defend policy say Michael Manley give a free education. Enough of them never go to school, them big and dunce and stupid, see me. See? They never go to school when time education did free. Then go to bush, go stone mango. And go to cane bush. Eh? Anything that is good for this country, the PNP is vehemently against it. Why? Because of bad mind. 19 years they had and did not do anything towards the growth and the development of this country. Imagine you sit down in a government for 19 years. And the country did not move, not even 1 inch. And you know why the education, you know why it's education go up during Michael Manley time? You know why I say that? Because what we find in Jamaica is you find people who have degree when they do no work feet. Buy them buy or get them get it. Because through them on the course the PNP we are mark a book or we are keep a score. Give them a degree so they can pack up PNP in a workplace them. That is why it look like we literacy did go up in our 70s. That was what was happening in Jamaica. People are buy degree and are buy certificate and are buy CXC. PNP did that in Jamaica and that is why it looked like literacy was going up. But enough of them dunce and still dunce till this day. Them mama dunce, then papa dunce, then grandpapa dunce, then grandmama dunce, then great grandpapa dunce, great grandmama dunce. The doggy, ratty, catty, puss, everybody in their yard dunce. All the stone where they on the ground dunce. PNP give out one heap of degree and put them people them in a position for hold on, for keep and maintain power. See? So they mark PNP book and make it look like say literacy a go up in the country. Nothing no go so. Nothing at all no go so. So when you see them come and them a defend but Michael Manley build 1,000 school and literacy did that go up and they did their 80%. It was at that because they were manufacturing it. That is what was happening. And that is a known fact. And I make it up. That was happening in Jamaica. I hope I live to see a day where the Jamaican people can wise up. I mean, I talk about the PNP them now. If we see that what is happening, that is good for our country. It is good for our country what is happening. And they must, get behind it and get behind the government. How much free house Michael Manley give away? How much poor Jamaicans Michael Manley take out of poverty? You know, show me. Where are the statistics? You know, show me a scheme a Michael Manley bill and say, see one scheme the poor people no go in, they go take your house them. You don't have to pay me $1. Just take your house them. Today we have Andrew Holness who is giving away houses worth 9 million, 13 million, 18 million in some cases, and they're giving away for free. Michael Manley, who they say created the NHT and turned it into a fund, a trust fund, and money was in there when can take out. See? Them a complain now say Andrew Holness a take out money out of it. Why didn't Michael Manley take out some money out of it and build some free concrete dwelling? Give people them. You know what they do instead? They build some little box house where one room, in a one corner you have the shit house, and over the next corner you have your stove or your fridge, and one little veranda. See? And some little hole out the back door, 3 back door for you hang up one little line. One little box house, and PNP that sell them for 16,000 at the time. They not give away no free house. Where is the highway that Michael Manley built in Jamaica? Where they? Other than the 4 school where Michael Manley get from Cuba, where 1,000 at school where Michael Manley built? You know, show me it. Show me them now. I want to call 2 of them name, make me hear. Where's the clinics that Michael Manley built? You know why? Michael Manley came into government and saw all of the work that the Labour Party was doing, and he come in and in thief everything and say him do it. That he did. That's definitely what he did. Things that he saw in the pipeline, he implemented and said he make sweeping change. But where work? Where road them when fix? Where scheme them when build? Where hospital? Where clinic? Where beach park? Where bus terminus? What is Michael Manley's legacy other than to destroy the Jamaican economy? That is what he did. But the PNP them so hooked up on this bullshit, they can't bear to talk the truth. And by the way, this is the same Michael Manley who would come later on and say that, you know, his policies in the 70s did not work and he's a reform man, he changed his mind. He said it and went to America begging. See America with PNP argue, they say Michael Manley never kiss America ass, and you know, him say him turn up on 2 feet. He did have to go over there bawling and begging to Bush Senior. You remember? You remember there is something there? He did have to take off a Bush jacket and put on a suit and go over America and go to IMF and go to everybody in the 1990s of my winning. You remember there is something there? But yet them still a talk about and by the way, me have a clip of Michael Manley saying him not have the answer to Jamaica problem. Me have a clip, me not ready to post it. Me soon post it on Facebook. So me post one heap of sitting and it I get one heap of, you know, something. So me I wait till me now nothing to post it over them. Me see where them are gonna say now. See? Me have a clip of Michael Manley I say him not have the answer to Jamaica problem. But if you ask a PNP will tell us that Michael Manley did have answer to every problem and Jamaica was paved in gold. All the while Michael Manley walk and tell people say him a socialist and him now wear no flashy clothes and he now drive no flashy car, just one little car. You remember the Beverly Manley clip? You remember the Beverly Manley clip where Beverly Manley said Michael Manley would do anything for him. She said she wanted to go to Europe for 1 day and Michael Manley sent 5 travel agents. She see her head a hotter and Michael Manley sent 5 doctors while Jamaicans was dying. Dujan, tell your listeners to go to my channel and listen and share my mark the digger side. Wanna go over lifestyle channel, go share the Mark song where she have over there. I want to buy the party lifestyle. Another one there. Some small 2-room farmer's house he built. And he not give none of them for free. None of them he not give for free. I buy half to buy them. Today Andrew Holness I give millions of dollars worth of house to you for free. See? And you're still entitled to all that benefit them in our country. Andrew Holness should be celebrated. Andrew Holness is a hero. Andrew Holness is a national hero. No other prime minister, I lie, Edward Siaga Bill Tivoli and Marvally and all of these places, whole heap of gardens. See? But, you know, Jamal was another one of his Shocks Family Adult Learning Program. Exactly. You know, PNP is a criminal party. No, DUJON, that's not my channel with the party. My channel is Lifestyle Politics. Oh, me never see it. Me think it one on Facebook with the party attack. Alright, so now go over Lifestyle channel, my people, and go and share the song. Me go watch it when I come off and share myself. See in Lifestyle? So no worry, me go watch it when I come off and share it myself. Kareem, big up yourself as well. I don't understand how, you know, people can see all of these good things, you know, happen, and them a turn a blind eye to it because it is not their party in government. And the worst thing about it is when their party was in government, they never do it. They never do it, and they had triple the time that this government had. Triple the time that this current government have. And Andrew Holness in his first term would have done more for this country than what PJ did in his 14 years as Prime Minister. No, believe me. Believe me. We're tired of them. We're tired of them, my people. And they're so stupid. No care what you try to tell them, tell us a CIA, CIA stop food and the next day after election win food upon shelf. Then Miami just the right they say though. Miami just the right they say it take less than a day to come to Jamaica. Less than a day. See? And if Edward Seaga is friendly with the United States and him win government, what it gonna take them to send 2 and 3 and 4 and 10 ship come to Jamaica from Miami where they right there? So what it will take them? Them people don't even have no common sense. And them will tell us, me see one of them say, Edward Seaga pay Chinese not to sell no food. That's why people food did a ration. Eh? Now this is Jamaica, my people. And you know, if you have food and you have food to sell, especially rice, we have weeble and flour, we can catch weeble. See? You gotta do all that you can to sell out the fast. So if government they tell us say hide it, or opposition tell us say hide it and not sell it, you still go hide and sell it because so Jamaican people stay. And one next thing when I see them say ship the day out to see a dash of food. You go out there and you see ship a dash of food and you know jump in one boat and go collect one tin of sardine and one tin of bully beef and carry go share up in your community. Eh? So this is the level of desperate, you know, behavior that the PNP and their surrogates, you know, have up my people in our country, and it is so silly and so stupid, you know. I always argue with PNP and that propaganda about the CIA and Seaga. Why the PNP spokesperson never sell the food? Exactly, you know. I'm sure all I shop are never labor right, you know. Somebody shop them at PNP, so if you don't have stock, why you never sell them PNP shop? The thing with CIA and Seaga valid, you know, it is a valid point. Did the Americans sabotage Jamaica? Yes, they did. They did it. But why? Why did they do it? Michael Manley, who don't have a fight in military and who is not as rich as the other countries, gone stuck in big white nose in a people business. See? All he had to do was stay out of their business and mind Jamaica business. And that would not have happened. It's plain and simple as that. Today, Andrew Holness has stay out of people business and them mind Jamaica business and make certain them build Jamaica and them work upon Jamaica business. See? And he not involve and interfere in nobody business. And we are benefiting from it. The country are grow. The country growing. See, some don't know if PNP they don't see the urban center we build because them blind. You know, they don't see the highway them we are build because them blind. They don't see work we are going to Spanish Town Hospital because them blind. They don't see Cornwall Regional Hospital because them blind. They don't see then brand spanking new children and adolescent hospital because them blind. Work a go on a UE, them blind. Work a go on a where next children hospital name? Bustamante Children Hospital. Work a go on this and them blind. One of the first thing Andrew Holness doing in come back in a government was to build back the Chapperton Hospital, fix up it back and help me back. See, health clinics all over Jamaica, school bus by, ambulance by, JUTC bus by, health care bus by, look at health van them by, police vehicle by, ambulance by, fire truck by, garbage truck by, water truck by, police bike by, all kind of thing I buy in Jamaica. Police station are fixed, courthouse are fixed. You know, courthouse I get air conditioner, Wi-Fi. You know, all of these things should have happened years ago. But PNP them big and workless and an ambition. I don't care how. Work, them are going to build over KPH Hospital. They already identified the land for build over back a brand spanking new KPH Hospital. Portmore, I get a hospital over there too. They already identify land for build one. A Portmore. Savlamar Hospital, I got build over back too. Where did the PNP then that do for 19 years? Why they could do all of them something there? Because what happened is when Labour Right is in government, Labour Right bill and fix up everything, and when PNP come, they not nothing to do, they just relax and thief every God almighty thing where they can see. And if they catch their mama, then thief him too. That is how PNP operate. And that is the honest to God truth. We don't need to sugarcoat it, we don't need to go around it, we don't need to turn left and turn right and go straight and come back. We don't need to do that. We know what the PNP is about. And it's a criminal movement. See them about criminality in Cuba there. Because of something that they would have done in Jamaica too. Me say, I'm glad we feel glad say Edward Seaga fight tooth and nail. Because had Michael Manley had his way and turned Jamaica into a democratic socialism communist country, up till now would have had a Manley in a government. You know, hear me? I don't know. I would have suffered same fate as the Cuban people them, because the Cuban them grow where they eat and eat where they grow and look upon them today. That is not how the world is designed. Even China, which has a communist government, China's economy is a capitalist economy. Guys, when you go over Lifestyle, go sub to Lifestyle channel. So all of who there, so go over Lifestyle channel, go so just click on Lifestyle, sub and come back. See? And if you don't know, follow Father Steady, follow Father Steady as well. See, so you go over Father Steady and when we'll come over here and subscribe over this too. See, we need to build up all our Labour Right channel them. Strong up all our Labour Right channel them. See? That is what we need to do. Because we not desperate fight for misinformation all over the place. You know? And if we don't try to combat it, it'll go take root and it'll go take hold and take over space. See? Anyway, my people, I know me I go to work tomorrow, so remember now, say we not do the morning live them again unless me off. See? So I will soon tomorrow evening for the evening live. See? So big up all 226 persons who is here. Please subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber. Big up all 160 persons that gave me a thumbs up. And I will soon tomorrow evening. See? Big up on yourself. Much love. Show our Labour Rights.